This light so stained and tattered, this night-bitten dawn. This is not the morning we had all been waiting for.
The poet Faiz Ahmad Faiz wrote in Subh-e-Azadi, The Dawn of Freedom. Independence had arrived, but it did not feel like freedom. In the summer of 1947, a man who had never set foot in India was given 5 weeks to divide it. He was handed outdated census tables, partial district maps, and a deadline that could not move. Outside his office, an empire was collapsing. Inside it, a border was being drawn. The line he signed would cut through villages, irrigation canals, railway lines, even family homes. By the time it was revealed, trains were already burning. On June 3, 1947, British authorities announced that India would be partitioned into 2 dominions, India and Pakistan. The decision was framed as a political solution to escalating communal tension between Hindus and Muslims, and to demands led by the Muslim League under Muhammad Ali Jinnah for a separate Muslim homeland. To determine the borders, Britain appointed Cyril Radcliffe. He arrived in Delhi in July 1947. He was given roughly 5 weeks. Radcliffe chaired 2 boundary commissions, one for Punjab, one for Bengal. They could not agree. When consensus failed, the decision defaulted to Radcliffe alone. His instructions were deceptively simple. Divide the provinces along religious majorities while considering other factors. Those other factors included railways, canals, trade routes, and administrative coherence. But the census data was from 1941. Entire districts were mixed. Cities were religious mosaics. Punjab, in particular, was interwoven. Muslim, Sikh, and Hindu communities layered across centuries. As the division became inevitable, Mahatma Gandhi warned,
"A partition of the heart is more difficult to heal than a partition of a map."
Radcliffe later admitted he had no time for ground verification.
I had no alternative. The time was so short that I could not possibly hope to be fair.
The line was finalized on August 12, 1947. It was not made public until August 17th, 2 days after independence had already been declared. In Punjab, rumours preceded clarity. Armed militias began positioning themselves even before the official boundary was announced. Sikh Jathas, Muslim leagues, local defence groups. When the Radcliffe line was revealed, districts shifted overnight. Lahore went to Pakistan. Amritsar went to India. Gurdaspur's allocation became strategically decisive for access to Kashmir. In many places, the line did not follow rivers or mountains. It followed census blocks. It cut through farms, through fields, through lives. Violence escalated rapidly. Entire villages were attacked. Columns of refugees stretched for miles. Convoys were ambushed. Women were abducted. Families disappeared. Trains crossing the new border arrived filled not with passengers, but with bodies. Writer Khushwant Singh, in Train to Pakistan, summarize the reality without romance.
The fact is, both sides killed. Both shot and stabbed and speared and clubbed. Both tortured. Both raped.
Estimates vary, but historians broadly place the death toll between 800,000 and 1 million. Some suggest higher. Approximately 14 to 15 million people were displaced, one of the largest forced migrations in recorded history. Punjab absorbed the most immediate shock. Bengal endured its own waves of violence. In Delhi, refugee camps filled public spaces. As the new state of Pakistan took shape, Jinnah addressed its citizens.
You are free. You are free to go to your temples. You are free to go to your mosques or to any other place of worship in this state of Pakistan. You may belong to any religion or caste or creed. That has nothing to do with the business of the state.
It was a promise of civic equality. It was spoken as blood still flowed across Punjab. In London, critics were watching. Winston Churchill warned in 1947,
"In handing over the government of India to these so-called political classes, we are handing over to men of straw, of whom, in a few years, no trace will remain."
Churchill opposed rapid decolonization. He feared instability. He also feared the loss of empire. Meanwhile, Lord Mountbatten reflected later.
"I did not want to be the man who broke up India. I wanted to be the man who handed it over intact. But I found that there was no way out."
Radcliffe left India almost immediately after completing his work. He never returned. He declined his fee. The violence was not caused solely by a line on paper. Tensions had been building for years. Political rivalry, communal propaganda, wartime strain. But the speed of the decision intensified everything. The transfer of power occurred at midnight. The border arrived days later. Local administrators often did not know which country they were in until after independence had been declared. The Radcliffe Line did not resolve the communal question. It redirected it. Within months, Kashmir became contested. War followed. The ceasefire line that emerged remains disputed. 75 years later, the Radcliffe Line still defines international borders. Radcliffe reportedly burned his papers before leaving India. He never publicly detailed how he made specific district decisions. The line exists. The reasoning does not. Partition was not only a political act. It was a cartographic decision executed under deadline, imposed on a landscape that did not fit neat divisions. The ink dried in August. The consequences have not. A line drawn in weeks still governs lives generations later. And as Faiz wrote of that dawn, it was not the morning many had imagined.